Okay, so today we'll discuss about the content fragment. So content fragments, there are types of the fragment. So it has two types. First one is a content fragment and second one is a experience fragment. So today we'll discuss about the content fragment. Okay, so here you see now at the what does it mean by the fragment first. Okay, so just simple fragment is useful because we can reuse them on a multiple pages, and whenever we required you can edit them from a single location. Okay, so consider why we have introduced this concept. So if you want to create and you want to reuse some pages or the content, then you can easily do that things. How you can do that things? So like consider this one is my page, sorry, this one is my content, and this content I want in multiple pages. Okay, of course we knows that all the content, so this is my page, and inside this page if I want to add some content, so I just need to insert the component first. Is it no? This is the component we just have to add inside our content fragment, inside our website. So we can just simply do one thing, we can add one component everywhere, and inside this component we just pass this information. Yeah, otherwise we can create this information in one single location and we can reuse this information everywhere. Okay, this is called as a fragment. Okay, so here today we'll discuss about the content fragment. So first thing is, like, a content fragment allow you to design, create and publish the page independent content. What does it mean by the page independent content? So this is the one location and this page is an independent, that means this is the content and this content is an independent, so it can run on this platform as well as in this platform as well. Okay, so this is the thing, that's why it is a page independent content. So it's not dependent on this page only. So if you want to reuse these components or this content in second, you can also use it. But the thing is, in the second line here is just simply a editorial content. That means whatever the content you have added, you can just edit this content, but it has also a images. Okay, it has also a images and the text. That means if you are writing the content, it may be a text present, it may be a screenshot or the images may be present. Okay, but they are the pure content, they are the pure content without style and the layout. If you want to add the style and the layout in your content, so it won't possible. Okay, it won't possible. This is the thing, and it has created the channel specific. That means you can also create the variations. So what does it mean by the variations here? Okay, so I'll give you one example. Like consider this one is your content. Okay, consider in consider we have one class, and inside this class we have 100 student. Okay, this is the 100 student we have, and we don't want to create this 100 times. We don't want to create this content fragment 100 times. Consider this one is our content fragment, we don't want to create this 100 times. So we just simply do one thing, no, we can create the content fragment model. Here we have one concept, that is content fragment model, and it provides the data type to your content fragment. For creating this content fragment, we have to use this content fragment model. We know that model is just simply a model, it's used for storing the information. Okay, and here we can add the information. Okay, and it is providing the all the data types to this content fragment. Simple. Okay, so 100. Now consider we have 100 student, and this student we don't want to create this content, this data types. Like consider here I have a number like 10, 20, 30, 40. This is the number we have. So for that we know that we need a integer. Okay, so when we are adding the 100 times this student, we have to create 100 times this field. Okay, because of we have a 100 student, we have to create this 100 times. So we don't want this. So for that you can just simply use the content fragment model, and here we have a concepts of the variation. Variation, that means all the data types you can easily copy it, and by using these data types you can easily perform the variations. Okay, so now I'll just show you. Here you see now. Okay, here this one is our content fragment, this one is nothing but our content fragment model. Okay, and these are nothing but the data types, that is title, descriptions, and adventures type, and the trip length. These are nothing but your data types, and these data types where we are using for adding our actual information. So this is the title I have added, this one is our description, and after here we have a day trip and trip length. So these are the fields we have created by using the content fragment model. By using this content fragment model, we have created this field. Okay, so it just simply providing a data types to your content fragment. But the thing is, now this type data types you want to create multiple times. Okay, this is the information you want to pass 100 times. Why? Because of you have 100 students. Okay, in the one batch we have 100 students. So for that, here at the left hand side, here we have a variations. So you can just simply click here and create the variation duplicate like this. So by default here we have a master variation, this is nothing but your master, and after that when we created the master, so by using this master we can easily create this data types or this content fragment. We can also say it's a variation, so we can create the multiple variation. So what it will happen, so it will copy all these data type into this mobile variation. Here we have a mobile, so it will copy all of this thing inside this. Now you can just simply change the content of the student, but we know that every student have a roll number. Okay, every student have a name, mobile number. Okay, and when they have joined, that means joining date. Okay, so this is the thing that we have. So that data types must be a common, may be a common, but the content may be a different. So the student consider here, maybe some student have a Nikhil name. Okay, Nikhil, and some student have a Sai. So that content is changed, but the data type is same. And this content, if you want to render in some page, for that we use the content fragment model. So now we'll just go there and just see how we can create the content fragment model. Okay, so simply just come here. Here we have a tools, and here we have options of the configuration browser. In the general, you can just simply click there. Okay, we have clicked. After that, when I'm just creating, so here we have options of the content fragment model. So from this we have to create the content fragment model. But the thing is where we are creating inside the configuration browser. See, so this configuration browser is not only for the one and individual concept. Okay, it has a lot of concept, it has present inside this configuration browser. Okay, so where it will store, when I'm clicking this when I'm just creating this content fragment model, so where this content fragment model will create, so it will create inside your conf folder. We knows that. Okay, so now I'm just going inside the configuration, CRXD, and here you see, first of all I'm trying to create the July. Okay, July content fragment model. So how, here inside this configuration we don't have this types of folder. Now I'm just creating, you can just go inside the configuration browser, create the July content fragment model. So this time what I'm creating the folder structure only. Here I'm just simply creating the folder structure. Okay, content fragment underscore folder structure. Okay, here you can just simply click and just create it. Now just come there and just try to refresh it. So when you are refreshing, you will see the July content fragment folder structure. So it has created the folder structure, all your content fragment model, where it will store inside this content fragment model. Here we have options of the model, it will store inside this, but we have just created the content fragment folder structure. Now we'll do one thing, we'll create the content fragment model, so it will store inside this model. So now how we can create, you can just simply again go inside the tools, and here we have options of the sites. I already told you. So sites, asset is nothing but the DAM, and it's responsible for storing the images, content, JSON and all the stuff. Okay, so yeah, the content fragment is nothing but our content only, so where it will store inside your assets. Okay, so here we have a content fragment model. See, inside this assets, here we have a content fragment model. So you can just simply go inside this and just create your content fragment. So you will see your content fragment structure. This is the content fragment structure. Here we have we have to create inside this, then it will store inside our this model, in this model. Okay, so you just create, and here we have to create the July content fragment model. This time what I'm creating a content fragment model. Here I'm creating content fragment model. Just create and just done. Okay, so what we have done now, we have created the content fragment model. Now just go there and just open it. So it will provide you the platform. See, this is the platform it has provided for creating the content fragment data structure, data types. So at the right hand side we have a data types, and by using a drag and drop you can easily create your structure. Okay, so now I am just taking this single line for the name. Okay, so when we have drag and drop, that time we have to fill the information here. So here for the text field, here we have multi field and the text field. So this multi field, that means you can add more than one line, but this text field, that means you can add only a one line. So for the first name we just want the text field. Okay, so here field label we have to add it. So what we want here, we need the first name. See, when I'm writing here, it is reflecting inside our, here at our left hand side, first name. Yeah, this one is a important property. This is the mandatory. Okay, mandatory property. We have to write the variable name inside this. So whenever you are writing something, so it will store inside this first name. Now it has done, and this one is a placeholder. If you want to pass some information inside this text field, then you can just write here. Yeah, and this is the default value. So if user will not insert anything inside this, so by default it will store this default value, and the maximum length is, if you are writing the character, then maximum length is 255. Yeah, and here we have a required. So if you want this field as a required, then this star will reflect. See, here we have a star. Yeah, so anyhow you have to fill this information. Okay, this is the thing. So I don't want this required. Yeah, it's a required because of the name is required. No, later that for the address you can just simply use this multi-line text. Okay, so it's just like a text area. If you want to add more than one lines, okay, this is like a text area. Okay, so here I am just using the address of the student, and here we have a rich text and plain text, and this markdown we have. So this rich text provides the additional functionality as compared to this plain text and the markdown. So we have to use this rich text, just like it will provide the bold, italic, yeah, super. So if you want to acquire these types of functionality, then you can just simply use this rich text. Here we have a description. Yeah, now I'm just taking this number. So in case if you want to add the phone number, then you can just simply use the number. But sometime what we will do, we add more than one number field. That means we can add more than one numbers. Like they will ask to insert your current number and as well as your parent number. So for that you can just simply select the multi field. Okay, that means you can add more than one numbers. Okay, this is the thing, and here we can store the data. This just like this one is just like a variable. Okay, so phone number. Yeah, done. Here we have placeholder. You can just choose the type. So if you want the floating type value, then you can just simply select the fraction, but phone number must be an integer, so that's why we have to select the integer. Okay, this is the default value. If you want to pass, you can pass it, and this one is a required. Here we have a boolean. Boolean is nothing but the true and the false. It's just like a checkbox. Okay, so whenever you want the whenever you are getting the requirement like a checkbox, then we have to use this boolean. Okay, so right now you can just write student, you are a student, then you can just click there. Student true, false. Yeah, I'm just adding this information. Okay, so by default, if you want to check, you can just click here. When you are clicking and you want to open the properties, we have to click here. So here you see by default it has a check. Okay, so when you are clicking as a check, that means it's true. When you are unchecking, that means false. Okay, so I am just checking right now, so that means it's a true. Here we have a date and time as well, so you can just simply drag date and time. Okay, so here I have just simply drag and drop it, so you can just simply write joining date, and here we have a joining date. Nice. Default value, if you want to pass, you can just pass from here. So right now I'm just passing some default value like this, so it will attach this value. Yeah, so now it has done. At the last, here we have a enumeration. These are the advanced things that I'll tell you in later in future. So this tag concept we will discuss, no, that time I'll discuss about this tags. Yeah, and here these things has related to a GraphQL, so it's a different concepts we will see in the future. Yeah, so now I'm just simply taking this enumeration. What does it mean by the enumeration? So when you want to acquire the drop down functionality, that time we have to simply use the enumeration. Enumeration, that means you can add more than one value inside one text field. Like this one is our text field, and inside this you can add more than one value. So when you are here, when you click inside this symbol, then it will come more than one value. That's called as a drop down. So here you can just simply check it. What I'll mention here, profession. Okay, so what's your profession? I'm just mentioning like that. Okay, so simply if you are student, then click on the student. Okay, and if you want to add more than one value, so we have to add inside this option, but we have to separate it by using this comma. Okay, if you are a businessman, then write a business. The farmer is option there, and maybe let it be this three is, it's okay. The student, business, farmer, and here we have a other. So this is the thing that we have written it. Almost all the data type has closed, so we can just simply save the changes. So now we have created the content fragment model. Now what we need to create, we have to create the content fragment. There we can add the actual information. Here we just simply create the data types. Now I'm just going and I'm just creating the content fragment. So where we will create inside this assets, we already knows that we have to create the content inside the assets only. So that's why I'm just going there. Okay, so here if I try to create, it has showing one option, that is content fragment. But where you want to create the content fragment? Okay, so now I just want to create the content fragment inside this folder. So this is the folder now I'm creating, July content underscore fragment. Okay, this it be, so this is the folder that I have created. Okay, it may be created somewhere, where it is. Yeah, this is the folder it has created. Now inside this, now I just want to create the content fragment. Yeah, so how we can create, we have to create the create and the content fragment. But the thing is, it is showing the by default content fragment model. We know that content fragment is created by using the content fragment model, but it is showing the by default content fragment model. Now we want our own. So how we can do that things? So we have to give the permission to this particular folder. Yeah, so this folder we have to give the permission, then our content fragment model will come inside this. Okay, so now just click here, and here we have options of the properties. Yeah, once you click inside this property, later that here we have a cloud services. Okay, and inside this cloud services we have to give the permission, okay, to our content fragment. Then our content fragment is generated by using the content fragment model. So where we have created the content fragment, just try to refresh it, and here you see this is the content fragment we have created. Okay, so this is the content fragment it has created. So we have to copy this one. Simply you can just simply copy, go there and just simply paste it. Okay, that's it, as simple as it is. Otherwise you can remove, and if you have added more than one, so more than one will come here. So just try to save it, try to save the changes, go inside this, again try to create, and here we have options of the content fragment. Again it has coming this simple, so we have to copy this entire things and we have to paste it now. Open it. Yeah, you can also just browse it by using that. So where we have a somewhere we have like this one is our July content fragment folder structure. So you can just simply select this one, save and change, save and close. Again go inside this, create and create the content fragment. So this time our July content fragment model is coming. So just simply select this one and create it. Now what we are creating, we are creating the content fragment. Keep in mind we are creating a content fragment by using the content fragment model. Okay, so content fragment July. Okay, save the change, create it and just done. So our content fragment has created. See, now you can just simply open this content fragment. When you are opening the content fragment, see it is showing the error. Which error it is showing? This field is a mandatory, so we have to add the information inside this anyhow. Okay, so you can just add anything. So right now I am just adding Rohit, and here you can just add the information. This is a content fragment. Yeah, so here I have added some information, so you can just simply copy. This is the description. Okay, no, yeah, here, and here you can just simply add the phone numbers. It's up to you. So this is the phone number we have added, and by default it has true, so that's why it has selected as a true. Okay, joining date, by default we have added one joining date, so it has coming. Now I'm just changing the joining dates, so this 20 has came, and at the last here we have a profession. So profession is nothing but the enumeration. Okay, so enumeration is also called as a drop down. So when you are clicking here you see lot of option it is opening. So just click on the student, we have filled the information and just simply save it. Okay, this is the information that we have filled, but the thing is now I just want to print this content in my website. I just want to render this content, but we already knows that. Just try to open the website first, sites, yeah, and just try to open this site, like this one is our EN. Okay, so this is a site we have opened it, and we already knows that here we can just only add the components inside these sites. We can only add the component. So for adding or for rendering this content fragment, we need a component. We need one component, that is content fragment. Okay, so all the content fragment, that means some of the content fragment has already created components. You can just simply go there. Here you see, here we have a content fragment. You can just simply click here. See, so this content fragment will come. Yeah, this is the content fragment has came. Okay, here we have a lot of content fragments. So this content fragments has related to this general group. Maybe we have a different content fragment, it has stored somewhere. Yeah, so here we have a See, this is the content fragment, it has related to our project. See, this is the demo project, so you can just simply check this one as well. Okay, so we don't want this one, so you can just simply remove. We have our own content fragment components where it will store inside our CRXD, where it's our project apps. Here we have our demo one projects and components, and it has a one concept that it has one folder that is component, that is content fragment. See, this one is our content fragment. Okay, so now just use that content fragment. So come here and configure it. What's happening? Yeah, so it has opened this. So this is the CQ dialog for this content fragment components. Okay, so by using this we can easily insert our content fragment. So here we have to choose the content fragment, which content fragment you want to insert inside this website. So you can just browse it. Here we have options like this one is our July content fragment. Okay, so you can just simply select this and just choose this one. So this is the content fragment model, this is the content fragment, sorry, not model. So we have to add this one, so you can just select it and just done. I'll tell you these things, but before that you just have to click this. Yeah, so here you see, so whatever the content that we have added there, this content has coming here. See, this content fragment July, this is nothing but the title name. Okay, and after that here we have first name, Rohit, address, this is the address. Okay, and here we have phone number, student, true and false, this one is our property name, and here we have a joining date, and here we have a student. So this is the student that we have selected, that's why it has coming this. Okay, after again I am just configuring, and here we have options of the single text. So if you want to print only the single field, okay, here we have a lot of field, no, just like a address we have name, phone number, student, and the joining date and the profession. This is the field that we have, but if you want to print only one, then you have to select this, and which you want to print, so you have to select from this. So I just want to print only this professions, so you can just simply select it and single field and just right check mark. See, so it has printing only this student, but if you want the multi field, by default it has showing all the fields, but you can just simply click in this multi file and here you can add. So here we have a joining true and false, here we have a joining date, and here we have a add, and that is profession, and here you can just right click it. See, so whatever you have choose, only this field has printing. Okay, so this is the thing, but the thing is here at the last, here we have a variation, and this variation I have already told you. So what does it mean by this variation? So if you want to create more content as it is same, then you can just simply go with this variation. Now I'll show you. Okay, close this. Okay. Yeah, go there inside your content fragment, just open this content fragment. Okay, so when you open it, at the left hand side here we have a variation option. So we have to just simply create here, create variation. So once you create, just name it. So this is the student 2. Now I'm just considering like this is a student 2. So what it will happen now, so this student 2 variation, it's inherited by using this mastered. Okay, it has created this student 2 variation, it has created by using this master. See, so that's why as it is content it has coming. So this time I'm just changing to the different name. So this is that is okay. Here I'm just giving only, this is not a student, the joining date is a different. Okay, it's a businessman, so I'm just simply saving it. You can create as many you want. Okay, it's just simple variations. Now just go there and just try to refresh it. Now come at down and just simply you can just come here and just here, this is our content fragment. Now just select this, open the config, and this time just remove this one. We don't want this, we don't want to print, we want to print entire things. Okay, So multi-field, that is okay. And here we have another variation, that is student 2. Now you can, if you want to print the data of this student 2, you have to click this. Okay, yeah, you can just simply right check mark it. Now here you see it has printing the different name. Before that it was a Royce, okay, but now it has changed. See, and here we have address, phone number, student, date, and we have changes from student to businessman, so it has printing the business. Okay, so this is the thing, and we already knows that how to create the content fragment components. Okay, so we knows that how to create the components. You can just simply right click, create, and create the components. And here we have to write the name of our component, title, description if you want to pass, and at the last here we have a super types. So if you want to inherit it or you want to create this component from the out of the box, then we have to select this out of the box here. So it's easy. So if you don't want, yeah, so if you don't want to use this one, then you can create your own components. Okay, and we know that like content fragment, by using the content fragment model we can create the content fragment, and the content fragment model will use for providing the data types and the platform for creating the content fragment. Okay, this is that's it guys for the today.